I think we're live, Bushy. I do think we're live.
Right.
Can we confirm this, Digital Naomi, Digital Deb?
Yes, we're live.
We're live.
Hang on.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to NIOA TV Livestream for April. My goodness, Bushy, this year is just flying.
Easter Bunny's already been.
Yep. And hello, Digital Deb and Digital Naomi. Oh, good grief. They are really enthusiastic to be here today. Are we starting to get some people to come online?
Yes.
All right. Oh, well, welcome. Now, look, some of the more astute of you out there may realise that we're one man down.
You call him a man?
Well, you know, currently we said to Ken, listen, you can't be anywhere on the 23rd. We've got NIOA TV Livestream. So the first thing he did was book in a holiday. And he's currently sitting on the beach somewhere. Oh no, has he gone to a wedding?
Well, that was his excuse. He'll be on the beach.
Yeah, he'll be on the beach. He said he was going to a wedding, but he did promise that during the ceremony he'd be live streaming
Awesome.
watching us on live stream. But just so that you don't feel too bad, all right? Look what I got. Ken on a stick. What do you reckon? So
if you've been to the Barrier Reef, you remember a fish called a groper.
There we go.
Have a look at that.
Look at this.
That's that's a groper.
Could you imagine his wife? What must that be like, coming at you? You know, my goodness, that's not good.
I don't want to go there.
Anyway, do we miss Ken?
He's here.
Oh, he is here. Digital Ken, we'll call him. What do you reckon? Look, we'll bring him out. You know, just
He can do the prize draw.
He could do the. Yes, that's what we'll do. We'll get him in for the prize draw. All right. So, listen,
stop scaring the viewers.
have people dropped off already? Have they?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Sorry about that. Listen, welcome. Now, don't forget this live stream. This is all about you guys. This is your chance to interface with firearms industry. We've got our resident SME or subject matter expert, as we like to call him,
amongst other things.
But Bushy, one of the things. Oh yeah, listen. Before Ken left, he did say, "Listen, I've got some prizes." Okay, and we have some prizes for today. We've got some Tasco 10x25.
Yeah, red ones and green ones.
We've got a red one and a green one to give away, and
great little things that they fold up and put in your pocket. Actually.
Yeah. And we've got this metallic Leupold sign.
Yeah, not a plastic one.
No.
This one will rust.
This one will rust.
Yeah.
So if you've got a man cave or woman cave, there's no gender equality issues here.
Any kind of cave.
Any cave, you might want to put that up. We're going to give that away as well. So look, we might get straight into it, Bushy. And I think one of the things that we were talking about as we were, discussing what we're going to talk about for live stream this month, one of the recurring themes that we often get a lot of people ringing up, asking us about the powder situation, why it's so bad at the moment here in Australia. So we just thought this might actually be a really good opportunity to interface with you guys, have a chat and talk about some of the issues that are... a lot of the issues that are concerning you all, reloaders and all that sort of stuff in getting powder. So don't forget, if you've got questions, start typing them now. Digital Deb, Digital Naomi will get those questions to us and we're going to answer them as best as we can. So Bushy, look, without further ado, mate, let's talk about this powder issue.
As long as you answer the questions, I'll talk about it. Yeah.
I'll answer the questions. I don't know if I can answer the questions, but mate, this has been going on for some time, hasn't it?
Well, yes, but it's actually not about that, because now all the goalposts have changed. Honestly, our phone is just running hot. Every second phone call now is about pistol powder.
Yeah.
This is exponential, and so many people don't even know about this yet. Probably the best place to start. So I think we will focus on pistol and shotgun powder, because that is the real problem we have now. Always been difficult to move powder. That's nothing new, because it's so expensive to move powder. And that's a lot of people don't understand that. They think, oh, well, why can't we just get it? Well, every time you put some on a truck, it costs $10,000 in freight.
Yeah.
We're doing the costings around the place to try and work out how to move powder around Australia, because we haven't been able to do it. We've done this before, but now it looks like we'll be the only people who can supply pistol powder. We understand that we have to get it all around Australia. And like, if I sent 100 kilos to Adelaide, it'd cost $20,000. Now,
there'll be people there that don't believe that.
That's the truth. If I sent 2 tonne to Adelaide, it'd cost $22,000. This is the thing. As soon as you go over that 50 kilo load, and we can't even find people to do that are common carriers, got an exemption,
Yeah.
all the licenses, all the security things. I mean, it just goes on and on. You think we're just whinging about it, but it's all real, and we've got to comply with these laws.
Yeah.
And if we don't, well, we're finished as a business. So we have to do it.
And I think too, it's important to...
$30,000 to move a load to Perth.
Yeah.
So again, we can't afford this dedicated dangerous goods carrier stuff. It's, you know, we may have to, but if we have to pass those costs on, it's going to be scary. So we're trying to work out our own solutions and do it legally, and we haven't got there yet. But that's what this is about. So, and in our market, like, you know, if you're not a pistol shooter, I suppose you don't care. But the thing is, our centerfire pistol shooters all reload. There'd be less than 5% that actually shoot factory ammo. And in most ranges, you've got to use a lead bullet or something anyway. Very hard to get factory ammunition with a lead bullet in it. And if you can at the moment, it's hard to get ammunition, full stop. So we've got a real problem, we've got to solve it. And I'm losing a lot of hair trying to do it. I'm hoping in the next few months we'll come up with a solution, but then we've got to get some powder. And at the moment, lead time on Alliant powder is over a year. We have powder on order, and we've actually explained what's happening in the Australian market to the Americans, and to their credit, they are going to start giving us preference. What that means, I'm not sure, but our orders have been moved up the supply chain, so that's good. But on the other hand, it currently takes, we just got a container not long ago, it took us 5 months to get a booking on a boat to move it. Because this is the other thing, shipping's a nightmare at the moment, all around the world. And while they're maxed out with capacity for containers, you bring along a container propellant and they go, I don't want to move that. And that's, oh, okay, so you go to the next boat, I don't want to move that. And that's what happened. It got bumped off 6 different boats before it finally got on a boat, our last one. So even if we could snap our fingers and get Alliant powder today, it'd be 6 months. So we hope to have powder arriving before the end of the year, but it's a long can of worms. Like, there's no great answers. All I can say is we're working on it. We've had, like I said, non-stop questions about it, and I can understand that. But if you can find pistol powder at the moment, buy it. Because
so, I mean, yeah,
there isn't going to be any.
I mean, obviously, you know,
not for a while.
Questions are, hi guys, do you have shotgun powder and powder for sub gauges? As I have not been able to find any. Good picture of pistol powder, but can you get some over here? As there's no pistol powder anywhere in this state. I've been, you know, after some for months, and that's in South Australia. I'm still asking questions to, oh, sorry, that's not that one. You know, ADI powder, haven't seen, well, ADI is not out, not us, so.
No, but we'll deal with them one at a time. But so anyway, that's the start of the conversation, and unfortunately it's not a great conversation to have, but it's real, and we've got to do something about it. And we hope to, with the help of Alliant, be able to ramp up and supply the market, but it's going to take some time. We can't snap our fingers. They've got a fantastic range of pistol and shotgun powders, so that's the good thing. They can fill the market. They're really good products, but just getting it and finding a way to get it to you is going to be our issue.
Okay.
So
yeah, so I mean, look, I mean, that's a good snapshot.
Yeah, so on the back of that, the two things we're about to talk about are 2 new Alliant pistol powders that we haven't brought in before. And to be honest, these powders are only about 2 to 3 years old, so they're not brand new, but we don't add a whole lot of powders to Alliant because we don't have that much of the market. Well, if we're going to have all the pistol market, we're going to do most of the pistol powders. And these two that I'm about to talk about will be the most popular powders you will buy because they suit 9mm down to the ground, and probably 60% or more of the centerfire pistol shot here would be 9mm. And of course they suit other things, 38 Special 357, not full house loads, but they're great. They're 2 good things to replace things like AP50N and AP70N, and that's what people are buying. So, so the first one, we got a
we got
here.
a sheet. It's coming up. There it is. It's up there now. You should have seen it.
Is Sport Pistol. Now, I understand everybody doesn't understand everything about Alliant powders or burning rates and that, but just to gloss over it, this is a slower powder than Bullseye, if I can relate to that. That's a very, very quick high energy powder. It's got a lot of nitroglycerin in it, and you only ever use a few grains of that at a time, otherwise things go boom. So sport pistol will be a similar burning rate to AP50N. So in a 9mm, you'd use about, and don't quote me on any of these loads, but I'm just throwing it out there as an example. On a 125 grain lead load, about 4.2 grains of powder and about 1,080 feet per second, which is, you know, a good moderate 9mm road that'll shoot accurately, function the gun properly, very clean burning powder, and it's quite light, so it'll fill the case reasonably well as well. So you don't have this great void and misfiring and that, because the primer flash jumps over the top of the powder and burns it from the other way around. It's available in 1 pound, 4 pound and 8 pound, well, it's not available at all at the moment, but it will be. 1 pound, 4 pound and 8 pound containers, and it does get cheaper as you buy bigger ones, and that's why we've gone with those. It's classified as 1.4C now, and in fact all propellant powder in the world, I think now, in standard smokeless powder is 1.4C, and maybe you don't know a lot about that either, but everything used to be 1.3C. And if you look at an ADI can, it'll say 1.3C, but they've already got it classified as 1.4C as well. The reason they haven't changed is the same, well, another one of the problems we're having, because dealers in New South Wales and Victoria actually have 1.3C on their propellant license at their dealership, and that's all they have. So if we sell them 1.4C, that's illegal because it's not on their license. So we've got to go through every dealer, every state, and reclassify these powders and get them added to their licenses in New South Wales and Victoria to sell our powder. That in itself is another big job.
Just a question come through.
So,
why can't you bring in Winchester powder?
Because we're not Winchester?
Yeah.
It's like the ADI powder question. Yeah. I mean, we represent the companies we represent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't deal with Winchester. So I know they've left that gap, but they've left that gap for the same reason. Like they were importing powder to support their ammunition plant that was making rimfire and shot shell. So it made sense, you know, they could bring that powder in that same container and move it and do it. But now they're not bringing powder in. And I can tell you, well, like Winchester must have had, well, let's say 1 or 2%. I'm not meaning that nastily, but that's probably all they had of the market. You can't fill a container if you're only selling 1 to 2% here. So, and that container can cost up to $50,000 to move. So and that's the thing, if Winchester was doing it and they said, yes, we'll bring it in for you, price of your powder would probably be about $200 for half a kilo. That's why they're not doing it. That's why we're not doing Vitavori. You know, people still asking us about that. Well, we can bring it in, but who wants to pay that? The freight cost is absolutely insane out of Europe, not so bad out of the States, and that's why I think we can get a solution out of the States so long as we can get it around our country. But anyway, I digress. So look, got a really good powder in that sport pistol. Excellent metering as well. And I'm saying this because it's designed as a pistol powder. Because a lot of people use shot shell powders in pistols. Now there's nothing wrong with that, but shot shell powders are very coarse, flaky, crunchy, and when you're putting them through a small powder measure and weighing 4 grains or whatever, your loads are quite variable, believe it or not, with shot shell powder. Pistol powder is much smaller granule, and your loads will be much more accurate with a dedicated pistol powder. Which brings me to the next powder, which calls BE86. Don't ask me why, but it's called BE86. Now this powder has basically the same burning rate as our Unique, so Alliant Unique powder, which is quite popular already. And it's also very close to ADI's AP70N that I believe isn't on the market now. So it's a slower burning powder again than Sport Pistol. About 5.7 grains on that 125 grain lead bullet in a 9mm, but about another 150 feet per second. So you can get more velocity for the same pressure, a bit more energy, you know, better in a little bit punchier 357 loads, that sort of thing. So, but you'd wonder why we'd have an Alliant BE86 and Alliant Unique, they're virtually the same burning rate. Well, Unique's a shot shell powder. Like, lots of people use it. I used to use it in a handgun. It's great, but you do get a bit of variation in load because it's chunky, flaky things. Whereas this meters beautifully, really does. And again, a bit more case fill. So it's going to be a great powder going forward as well. And I talk about 9mm because it's the most popular. There's plenty of loading data for plenty of other calibers as well. So they're quite universal, so long as you're not trying to get an absolute full house 357 44 Magnum load, which only silhouette shooters are really looking for anyway. But if you're looking, you know, cowboy action, any of those sort of moderate in the middle loads, these will be really, really good powders for it. And we've still got Power Pistol as a powder that fits in between those, and unique, as I say, is like BE86. So there's a few fallbacks if one runs out, but we're going to end up with quite a nice range of pistol powder. Shotgun powder, look, I mean, pistol powder is where the pressure is. Shotgun, there's not that much shotgun reloading done by individuals compared to what there used to be, and I think that person is easily just goes and buys factory ammo anyway, because it is quite cheap.
I was going to say, is that the reason? Like, it's now just cheaper just to buy it?
Yeah, look, loading a shot shell, you don't save that much now, whereas loading a handgun cartridge, you still save a lot, and you can actually tailor it for your range, and you can use a lead bullet and that sort of thing. If you're casting your own lead bullets, it's so cheap. So you really can, you know, shoot centerfire pistol very cheap. But shot shell doesn't change much, no.
Someone has asked, is the new powder ball powder or flake?
Well,
is the new powder ball powder or flake?
Neither. So you don't, you know, ball powder is a specific powder that's made by St. Mark's in the US. To be honest, I haven't even seen either of these powders, so I'm not game to say, but I don't think either of them are, because there's other powder types. I mean, there's extruded pellet powder, there's that, you know, flake, which can be quite chunky in that. There's things like Winchester 231, which is almost like a dust sort of thing, you know, it's like a ground up powder. And I think these are more like that, don't quote me, but I don't think either of them are ball powders, and I don't think either of them are flake powders. So there's, you know, when you get into the science of powders, there's a lot of different actual types. The main thing is these meter really well, and they won't cause any problems through progressive loaders and all that sort of thing. That's what they're made for. So they'll be good. So I think, look, just ending my little foray on that pistol bit, we should answer these questions one by one and just see what else there is. But I think the main message I'm trying to get across is, if you can buy pistol powder at the moment, absolutely buy it. There's no question that there's going to be an absolute shortage, and I would say in 3 to 4 months, and this is just me saying it, there won't be pistol powder in Australia. There just won't be any, because until we turn up with some more, and that's looking like it could be the end of the year. I'd love to think it's earlier.
I was going to say, what's the time?
But we don't know. We just don't know. All we know is we're getting priority. But that's the thing. As I said, we can get priority and get it next month. We can't get it on a boat. It's still in the US. So we've got some pretty serious problems to deal with. But look, we're doing everything we can. I'd like to think it'll be here by then. But then our first container will go nowhere, because if there's no powder on the market, like it, so hence we've got other containers ordered and lined up. But you know, we haven't been supplying the pistol powder market wholly and solely too. So we've got a bit to learn about the volume that's needed to do that. So, and it costs a fortune to store this stuff. It costs a fortune to do everything with powder. That's the problem. If we could just put it on a truck and send it like we send ammunition, I wouldn't even been having this conversation. But we can't do that. Yeah. It's very difficult. So hit me with a mate.
Look, mate, we do have some questions. Hi guys, do you have shotgun powder and powder for sub gauges for 16 gauge, 20, 28 and 410?
Yep.
As I have not been able to find any.
Yeah, look, they're a little bit rare, those types of powders you're talking about, because everybody just caters for 12 gauge. I can tell you right now, we don't have any powder at all. Nothing. But we were carrying, and we will be getting 2028. And hence the name, made for 20 gauge, 28 gauge, and 410. Alliant makes powders for those things. They're all different powders. So there's a powder that'll do 20 and 28 gauge, and there's a powder that'll do 410. We will be stocking them and selling them, yes. But you wouldn't find them, like we don't sell much of it, because very few people are reloading it. But they do exist, and we have sold them, had them before, and we will have them again.
Someone's saying, look, good picture of pistol powder, but can you get some over here, as there is no pistol powder anywhere? That's from Tony in South Australia.
Well, yeah, let's, and I think I've said this before, we're only shipping powder to Queensland because that's the only solution we've had. We haven't shipped any kind of powder to South Australia for, it's 3 or 4 years. But we're working on a plan for South Australia. I'm not saying we've got everything sorted, but we've got somebody there interested in helping us. So as we go forward with pistol powder and that, shot shell, all Alliant powder for that matter, we think we'll have a solution to get it into South Australia.
Okay, well,
Yes.
that'll be good. That's encouraging. Hello, team. I'm still asking questions to decide whether or not to reload or not, both rifle and pistol. What are the practical benefits and cost factors to using pistol powder compared to normal powder?
Well, I'm not sure what you call normal powder
No.
is. I mean, pistol powder is a very fast burning powder that's designed for a very small case. You do only use 4 or 5 grains, maybe 10 grains, not much more than that. Rifle powder is a much slower burning powder and made for the rifle calibers. So I don't know where we fit normal into that. There is still a cost saving in reloading, there's no doubt about that. It's not as big as it used to be, but you get to tailor the ammunition for the exact rifle you want. There's no doubt if you're skilled, you can reload ammunition that's generally more accurate than factory ammunition, although that's getting harder because factory ammunition is getting a lot better, there's no question about that. But you can use the exact bullet you want as well, because you do have parameters with factory ammo. I mean, we sell Federal Premium that's got nearly everybody's bullet in it, but then that becomes very expensive. If you look at the cost of that ammo compared to reloading it, well, there's a big saving, using a premium bullet. But yeah, and look, some people just like to do it. I know people, like, for argument's sake, who load shot shells still. I don't save any money at all, I just like doing it. So, horses for courses. If you've got the time and you like to get into it, it's an interesting science to play with. But I definitely recommend it. We're just in the middle of a supply issue on all fronts of all ammunition types, be it bullets, powder, primers, and this will go away, but I just don't know when.
Yeah, so I mean that kind of brings to this other question that we've got here that there is obviously a problem with supplies out of the USA, with pistols in particular. Do you put this down to their people buying them in larger quantities due to the current climate in America, or the fact factories at the moment are at full production or aren't because of COVID and staffing?
Yes and yes. Like, here's somebody who already knew the answer, because that's the truth. The domestic market is just gone ballistic in the States. They've had so much unrest. They're suffering from COVID like us too, so they're spending their money more locally than internationally as well. And nearly every factory that we deal with is running on half staff. So take away half the people, most cases you've got half the production. So it's a real problem, and a real problem. Most of the factories we deal with are working 24/7. So 3 shifts a day, every single day, with half as many people. But I could also say that, like, I don't even want to say the truth, it's a bit scary, but the lead times on product now, I've never seen in my life. Absolutely scary. But the American market is very reactionary. And I can tell you right now that most of the people we deal with have 3 years worth of sales already sold.
Yeah.
Like, so if I order something today, I'll get it 3 years and something. But in the States, if the political dynamic changes and COVID changes or whatever, they can change like that too. Like these huge places like Cabela's and Bass Pro and those guys, they order in like just scary amounts. But if the market changes, oh no, cancel that.
Yeah.
So availability can get turned on again quite quickly. But I'm not seeing anything at this point that's going to change that.
Yeah.
But it'll happen, but we just don't know when. So yeah, domestic consumption's insane over there. And the really sad thing is, from what we can see, a lot of them are just hoarding it. We actually want to buy it and use it.
Yeah.
But
You're
look,
just buying it and digging a hole in the backyard.
all I can say is pretty much all our factories do it by order date. I order a very long way ahead, no matter what the situation is. So we're pretty well placed, and we do get preference, being most people's biggest international account. But I can say all that, I've hardly got anything in the warehouse. Our stock level has never been this low, ever. And we're getting product in all the time.
Yeah, it's just going out as quick.
It's just going out as quick as it's coming in. So we're not building stock, and it's hard, but we're not unique. This is happening to everybody in this industry.
Yeah. So look, there you go. There's sort of just a few questions, and I mean, if you've got more questions about,
I think there's plenty more.
Oh, we've got a few to come through. If you've got questions, please send them through. Digital Deb, Digital Naomi will be able to write them down and get them through to us. But that might sort of cap off the whole pistol. Hopefully that'll have answered a lot of your questions regarding the pistol
if you've got
powder
more,
and that sort of thing. But please
feel free to ask.
send them through and whatever, and
Yep.
we can email you and all that sort of stuff. That's no
I
problem.
wish I had a great answer, but I haven't yet.
But Bushy, what we might do, mate, is we're going to move on to something just a little bit different. It's a product we've got in our new, and I must bring this up. We have got
Oh,
the 2021-22 NIOA Hot Products Catalogue.
yippee!
Now, Ken and Digital Cara and myself have been working very hard on this one. It's now finally printed and it's now finally here, and it's making its way to your favourite firearms dealer as we speak. I believe, there's been thousands go out so far. So people have ordered it.
It's in about
So,
10,000 or
Yeah,
something,
so just check your local dealer. If they haven't got them, ask them, because these are for free, right? Free. Okay, get as many as you want, send them to all your mates, but just go to your local firearms dealer and he can get them for you, absolutely free. We've got almost 500 pages worth of some of the best products, accessories.
Make it sound good.
It's freaking awesome. It's a really great read. And just the sort of thing that you leave on the coffee table, because the wife will love it when you just leave it there.
Oh, yeah.
But Bushy, one of the things we might look at is just an optic, the Bushnell Rx S 100. I
Wow!
believe Digital Naomi's got that. She's going to bring it up on the screen now. There it is. All right. Now, Bushy, this Bushnell Rx S 100, class-leading performance, incredible multi-platform versatility, and it's suitable for pistol, rifle, and shotgun.
Oh, there you go. Got nothing to add to that.
I'm hoping you do, actually.
So look, we're not getting many new products through this year because of COVID and all that. The research and development just hasn't been there with most of these factories because they haven't had the people to do it. So look, this is something we actually have in stock. Yes. So they've introduced two new Reflex sights, an RXS 100 and RXS 250.
Yeah.
We haven't got the 250 yet. And the 250 is like a premium version of this one. So this is quite well priced, to be honest. If you're familiar with a Leupold Delta Point, it's a similar product to that. It's a reflex sight. It's different in many ways, of course.
It's got a 4 MOA dot.
Look at him go.
I did a little bit of research.
Right.
Just a little bit.
So what's the elevation and windage adjustment on it?
X.
Yeah, no substance whatsoever. So it's 100 MOA, which is pretty amazing. So elevation, windage, you got a lot of movement in
We
sighting
write
it
that
in.
down in here, actually.
Well, that's because I didn't write the catalogue.
But I can tell you it's got 5,000 plus hours on setting 5 of battery life.
It does. How many individual variations of intensity does it have?
8.
You got one right.
Hey,
It also has a
little bit of
battery
research.
because some of these early little reflex sights, and this is great for handguns, shotguns, rifles, whatever. It's one power. There's no power there. It's straight reflex red dot. But they're really quick and easy to use, and they're becoming far more popular on pistols now. Because like we sell Glock, and they've got this modular system, and this particular product fits straight onto Leupold Delta Point fixings. So they've actually copied their fixings, which is, that's fine. And nearly every one of these types of pistols, for a start, has this template, so it just fits straight on. So it's great. Even though it's a Bushnell, it'll fit these other normal templates. But some of these early ones, you actually had to pull the sight off to change the battery, which I thought was not smart. This one you don't have to. It actually exits out the side, and you put it back in through the side, so the sight stays on the gun. So that's a good idea. But look, a good quality product, a very good price. And I think, we've only sent probably 200 of them out so far. But yeah, if you're interested in a reflex sight, go and have a look at one. An RXS 100 Bushnell.
Lifetime warranty.
It's, no.
Says it right there.
Yeah, well, that's wrong.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, can you mark that?
I will mark that. There you go. Well, no.
It has a 1-year warranty, like a lot of electronic appliances do.
Oh, okay.
But look, don't let that stop you from buying one. We got a lot of the illuminated products we sell in optics only have a 1-year thing because they're illuminated. But we generally don't have any dramas with them anyway. It's a typical thing when it's electronic. The only people who probably buck that system Leupold with their VX3 illuminated scopes and things like that, they still carry the forever warranty. But this is a different system.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the Delta Point has a forever warranty. I'm supposed to be talking about Bushnell here. Anyway.
No, it's all good.
It's a good product.
Yeah, so don't forget, you can find out about this product and more products in our NIOA Hot Products catalogue for 21-22. Make sure you go and see your local firearms dealer. So Bushy, we're going to give away a prize soon, but I thought we just had a question come through. Hi guys, love the show. Excellent. Is there an ETA on the Adler rifled shotgun barrels yet? Bushy?
Yes.
Answer the question.
Well, they arrived. And they weren't what I ordered.
Okay.
So we're now waiting for the next batch. So the truth is, I don't have an ETA. It's a long story. It's not that they weren't any good. It's just that they weren't the right spec. We wanted them with a proper cantilever scope base to go back over the receiver, because that's important with those so they shoot well. And they didn't supply them that way, and I wasn't keen. So to be honest, it'll probably be later in the year. Yeah. Okay. They were, like, we did receive them, but we had a face-to-face conversation about this. But remember, he was talking in Turkish and I was talking in English, and I think we had a problem. But anyway, look, we'll get them, but first batch wasn't right, so we didn't release them to the market.
Cool. All right. Well, look, we're going to give away a prize, but should we bring back Ken?
Oh,
come here, kid.
Why wouldn't you?
Come on. Hello, everybody. Okay, so Ken, mate, what do we got here, mate? Well, mate, we've got the Tasco 10x25s.
Oh, look at ventriloquist, yeah.
And listen, the winner of this one is Chris Cahill. So congratulations,
oh, yeah,
Chris. You've got the Tasco. We're going to give you the red ones, mate. Go back there, Kenny.
Well, let's come back up. Why don't we give this away as a prize?
Oh, you'd have to.
Hey?
Let's give that. I reckon you'd have more freight on that size head than you would with powder. So we might.
It's explosive too. Yeah.
Chris, we need your details to be able to send you these binoculars. Don't put them in the main posting on the Facebook page. Send it to us as a private message, and Digital Naomi and Digital Deb will get that sent out to you. But they're great from Tasco. Yeah, just they're a great little light product just to be walking around with.
It is, like I said, they fold up, fit in your pocket, you carry them anywhere.
Perfect. All right. Digital Deb, we're going to give away 2 prizes next. So I'm going to need 2 names after our next round of our product. But Bushy,
breaking the bank.
We're going to talk Leupold now.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I just did.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the Leupold RX 1400i, which is a rangefinder.
Well done.
Thank you.
What do you know about that? Go through your book.
Well, I'm going to go and look at the book.
Look, this is a new product for this year. It's their entry-level rangefinder. You might remember, like, their entry-level rangefinder was like a 600, so that means 600 yards. This is 1400 yards. So the technology is getting better and better for the same price. It's got a very, very bright OLED display in it, and that to me is, like, there's nothing on the market that I'm aware of at this price that has that really high quality display in it. Because I can remember when we first used to do rangefinders, even Leupold, like many years ago when they started, it was a bit like looking at the end of a Coke bottle, you know, like they were quite dark, didn't have very good displays in them. This is brilliant. I've had a few dealers say, wow, this is just better than anything else we've got. Still having a bit of trouble getting them, but we did deliver 200 only a couple of weeks ago, so you should be able to find them out there. It's got TBR, so true ballistic range, so if you shoot up a hill, it'll measure the proper range you should be shooting, just over a normal flat distance. It's 5 power. It measures, so when, you know, most rangefinders will say RX 1400, so therefore, okay, it's 1400 yard rangefinder. But that's only on reflective objects.
Yeah.
You know, we get people come, you know, trying to range a deer at 1400 yards, and well, it won't. They measure it that way because you've got a constant of a reflective target sort of thing. And they know, well, that's as far as it'll go, 1400 yards. But if you've got a tree, for argument's sake, like, and I talk about that, if you've got a white ghost gum tree or something, I think it's still like 1200 yards. So, you know, 1100 metres or something with it. But when you get down to deer and animals, well then it comes back to something like 900 yards, but that's a bloody long way away. So it's a really good product. It's waterproof, and it's got 3 reticles that you can interchange if you like, whichever one, just for scan. And it's got scan mode too. So you can just leave it on and it'll just keep measuring. If you're following an animal, for argument's sake, that's walking, it'll just keep ranging it if you keep pressing on it. So it's a great little product, and it's not very expensive.
Did you mention waterproof?
It doesn't listen, does it?
Listen, something that you might want to know too is in this new NIOA hot products catalogue for 21-22, we've actually put in here a whole stack of QR codes. All right. Now, I was talking to our Western Australian sales rep, Shrek, just earlier, and he was saying that we really need to push talking about these QR codes and how to use them. So they're really simple. Just get your phone, click on the camera.
It's like checking in for COVID.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And you scan it on the QR
Same
code.
animal.
And that will actually take you to a whole stack of videos that we took at SHOT Show last year, and about all the different stuff that we did back there. So there's a whole stack of products throughout this entire book. It has QR codes. You can find out a lot more about them. It can also take you to our website. Lots of info there.
Give me your grubby little book.
Yeah.
It's only good because I proofread it too, by the way, even though it was wrong. But on the cover, we've got this new Savage we talked about, the Impulse, the straight pull. Sadly, still looking at the end of the year before we get some, but we've got a lot sold. That'll be an interesting rifle. We haven't had much new technology at that sort of price point. Like the Europeans are doing this sort of product for many years, but it's $5,000-$6,000 rifle or more. This will be a lot cheaper than that. So be interesting to see how that goes. And it's ambidextrous. I like that bit too.
Yeah, you can just take
left or right hand.
Switch it over.
And on the back, we've got a new thermal that we're working on. Now these aren't here yet. They're about 2 months away. But we'll have a bit more information about that as we actually get the proper product, because we've changed the design of it a little.
It's quite an exciting product coming out.
Yeah, we did quite a bit of testing out in the bush with it, and
very impressive.
Pretty
actually.
impressive.
Yeah. So Bushy, we do have one question coming out. I know you're going to know exactly the answer to this. Have you guys ever thought about getting Leupold eyewear? Come on.
How much do you want?
We've
got a warehouse. That's one of the things I have got. We got plenty of.
I'm looking it up now.
Enough of the catalogue, mate.
Come on.
I don't think there's anything we don't have. Look, I'm not saying every dealer stocks it, because a lot of dealers just look at eyewear and go, well, I'm a gun shop.
There you go.
Don't stock it. But any dealer can order it on our portal. It's all there. We'd have most things. So it's pretty readily available.
And it's good eyewear.
Yeah, it's not all ballistic eyewear. There's 3 models that are ballistic eyewear.
Off the top of the head.
So if you wanted to actually use it for pistol shooting, for argument's sake, and negate ricochet and that sort of thing. But the rest of them are normal, like Polaroid sunglasses, and they're good quality sunglasses too.
Yeah, correct. Beck Nara, so you can use the QR code, find out all about it.
Yeah, I think we've got most of them, yes.
Yep, no, excellent. Thanks. Now, Ron Lean has asked the question, do you carry Atacar? A-T-A-C-A-R. Not too sure what that is.
I don't know what that is.
No.
Atta Arms is one of our brands.
Yeah. But
Sorry.
I'm not 100% sure, Ron, what you're asking.
If that's what it is, we don't have it.
We don't know, but you might need to define that a bit more for us. So, Bushy, moving on with the Leupolds. From rangefinders now to scopes, the Leupold VX3 HD.
High definition. Look, we're finally getting some. In fact, one of the questions here was asking that, I think. We probably need to address that.
Yep.
But, we've, up until 2 weeks ago, we'd virtually had nothing. We were actually supposed to have them at the end of January, but like I said, hello COVID. We're so isolated here and we forget about the issues they're having. Leupold production is probably 8 to 9 months behind where it normally is at the moment. And that's never happened before. But yeah, so we've just got about 200 VX3 HDs arrive across about 5 different part numbers. We haven't got all the scopes yet, and I don't know when we're going to get all the scopes, but they are starting to fill those orders where we ordered all our VX3 HDs. So I'm hoping we get a Leupold shipment about every 3 to 4 weeks. So we're constantly getting Leupold product, but it's, the stuff we're getting now I ordered in October. So, that's not their fault. It's just the way the world is at the moment. But yeah, we are starting to get them through. A really nice piece of glass. In fact, now you know, like VX5s, I never stop talking those things up. But these things, and look, I haven't put them side by side myself yet, so I don't know whether they are as good as a VX5 HD as far as that beautiful lens quality, colour, contrast, all that sort of thing. They may well be, and a lot cheaper. But yeah, I'd definitely have a look at them. So they've spec'd up the existing VX3i. They've also put a zero lock turret on it. They also all CDS now.
Oh yeah.
And CDS, custom dial system, we keep talking that. Most people sort of dismiss it, but now that you're going to get it with most of your scopes, you really should take advantage of it, because we will burn a dial for you for nothing for it. So you get your pet load, tell us what the velocity is, the bullet, even if it's just factory ammo, we can work it. As long as you give us enough information, we'll burn that dial, and wherever you turn that dial to is exactly where it'll shoot. And that, believe it or not, once you've started doing that and using it, wow, that's impressive. If you've got a rangefinder and you go, that's 530 yards,
Tick, 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 tick.
boom, done.
It's really point and shoot.
It is just, people don't know here how good it is. Every month, my son burns the CDS dials on a program here. Every month, without a word of a lie, we burn up to 60 dials just for New Zealand, because they shoot up and down hills and all sorts of things all over the place, and you know, shoot a deer across a valley and all that, and they're big on it, you know, because they understand the value of it. Whereas, but then they're hunters too, and most of us aren't. We go out and shoot whatever's there because that's what the property owner wants us to do. But in the end, if you've started to use CDS, you wouldn't go back. Gee, it's good. And you can burn different dials for different loads. We give you one for free. I honestly can't remember exactly what the cost of a spare one is, and it's not that cheap. I think it's $100 or something like that. But if you had 2 loads you used in the gun,
just swap them out.
Just swap one out, put the other one on. Away you go again with that load.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than people
system.
think.
Yeah.
Because it is truly custom. We can make it exactly to the cartridge or the reload that you're using, and there's not many other systems in optics that can do that. So pretty bloody good.
Yeah, so I mean, we do have one question here, you know, do you have an ETA on when you expect to get them?
Well, as I said, didn't ask which one, and I wouldn't know
specifically
which one.
The VX3 HD.
Well, 2 weeks ago we got 200. Yeah, look, as I say, we don't have them all, but they are now coming, so they will slowly start filtering through. And you know, we've got 50 of this one, 90 of that one, so you know, we've got a bit of stock to draw on as well. The other thing that people miss too amongst optics, when you're actually setting up a hunting rifle, so many people go and get this giant scope that weighs 1.5 kilos or whatever, and it's bulky and it's cumbersome. I don't understand why. Because if you look at VX3i, it's probably one of the lightest products on the market to set up a proper hunting rifle, and it's also one of the strongest. So I really think people need to rejig a little bit, because you carry around something, you know, we sold a lot of rifles over the years that weighed 13 pounds or something, and they only have a shelf life of this because people just get sick of it and go back to a normal rifle because it's just too heavy to carry around. So yeah, a good, lightweight, brilliant hunting scope.
Bushy, one gentleman here, Barry's back. Welcome, Barry. Glad you're watching, mate.
Cheers, Mr. Wooten.
Hi guys, I'm looking for a Leupold scope for my Ruger Scout to replace the 1:5:5 Leupold currently fitted. As I grow older, I would like the added benefit of an illuminated reticle or fire dot. However, the most popular Leupold 2:5:8 has been left with no fire dot, unlike some other new similar Leupold scopes of the same series. Any chance that 2.5:8 will be available with a fire dot? This doesn't look good, Barry.
We've got 3 to 9. So the one part of the puzzle you haven't given me, Barry, is whether you're using it as a Scout scope. Because was that a Ruger?
Yeah, Ruger Scout.
Because the thing is, on a Ruger Scout, you can mount it forward and have all that eye relief. Well, there's only a handful of scopes that will do that. And we do sell a 1.5:5 that does that. So I don't know whether your 1.5:5's long or short eye relief. If you're mounting it back on the receiver and it's a normal standard eye relief, then we might have a solution. I know we've got 3 to 9s. There won't be a 2.5:8, but I'm just not 100% sure whether there's a 2 to 7. Have a look in your book.
I will.
Use your book.
I'll use the book.
Yeah, VX Freedom, 2 to 7. fired. I don't think there is one, but it doesn't mean they might not make one because they're developing that end of it. We've never had a 2.5 to 8 VX3 with a
No, 2 to
red
7.
dot.
2 to 7 by 33.
But does it have illuminated fire dot?
Not that I can see, no.
Yeah, it's just 3 to 9, I think.
You won't be able to read that.
No, of course not. I'm blind. Look for the reticle.
Yeah, illuminate. Yeah,
Doesn't know how to use a camera.
no. 3 to 9 by 50's
Yeah.
got the illuminate.
Yeah, 3 to 9 I think is all we're going to get because it's about volume, and they don't like setting up a scope for illumination is expensive, dedicated, and they've got to sell a fair volume of them.
Yeah.
And clearly, if 2.5 to 8 was volume, we'd have one.
Yeah.
But clearly, it's not.
3 to 9 by 50, Basil.
So
That'll
3
sort
to
you
9
out.
by 50 is probably it, mate. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't expect we're going to have one of those.
Yeah.
And if you are talking about a scout scope that you mounted forward, well, we don't have anything.
Well, Bushy, while we're still talking Leupold scopes, we're going to come up to the final product that we're going to look at today, which is the Leupold VX3i Custom. Now, this is something that we actually do here in-house.
Yeah, look, I thought I'd just bring it up because we're actually making them now. We talked about this probably 6 months ago when we ordered all the parts, and it's been this long to get the parts. But the guys are actually starting to Cerakote and put them together now. So I just like to bring this up because in premium scopes, and I mean really good products, there's just no one makes a silver scope anymore. This isn't one, not that I'm aware of, in anything. So we've decided to make one. And look, it's only available in 3.5 to 10 by 40, but that's the most popular VX3 that we sell, and it's a very useful scope for most applications going right down to 3.5. Not a varmint scope going up to 10 maybe, but if you want a good quality silver scope to put on your rifle, because a lot of people still do when they put it on a stainless gun.
Stainless gun, yeah.
Go and order one. They won't have one yet, but we're starting to produce them. So it's a 3.5 to 10 by 40 silver VX3i. And yeah,
they look great.
Yeah, it is. It's a great looking scope. They're actually in that book, I think, too.
I think so. But digital
yeah,
Miami, you put it up there.
It's something we've made
There we go.
just to address a hole in the market, because there is a hole. We sold a lot of them already to dealers because they're getting asked for this type of product, and no one's offering it.
Well.
Yeah, so there's a burnt bronze one as
Burnt
well,
bronze as well. Yeah.
which we also make here.
Yeah. And the finish on those with the Cerakote, tough as nails, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is done by our government Cerakoting guy who
Does a good job.
Cerakotes things we can't even talk about. But yeah, no, proper hot Cerakote. This is not pretend cold Cerakote because that will rub off, and this won't.
Yeah, no, all good. So yeah, there you go, folks. That's the product lineup that we've had for today. We've had a bit of a pistol chat, Bushy, which has been
Can't
good.
have answered all the questions.
No,
There was
we've still got,
hundreds.
and we've got still a whole stack of questions to get through. And while I'm doing that, if you've got more questions out there in Facebook land or YouTube land, Digital Deb is putting them together, and I'm also hoping that you're going to put together 2 winners, Digital Deb,
Winner, chicken dinner.
for later on. So first of all, just wondering now that Ruger has bought Marlin, does this mean that yous will be the Australian importers?
We'd like to think so. The truth is they haven't appointed an agent anywhere because all they bought is the machinery, and they're still trying to set it up. And look, to be honest, I'll be surprised if they actually got guns coming out the other end by the end of the year, because it's all foreign to them. I don't think the Marlin people came. The Ruger people are very smart, don't get me wrong, but they've got a whole pile of machinery and they've got to work out how to make guns with it. I'm sure it's more detailed than that, but they're a long way away before they can actually offer something on a price list, because they've got a cost making things as well. So they actually haven't approached the market at all. All they've told the market is they bought it. We've not been appointed, I can tell you that. We'd be happy to be appointed. We used to be the Marlin agent, but the Marlin agent is Ray Trade. They're the Australian agent for Marlin. So that's all I can say. But the old factory doesn't exist, so they can't buy anything. Like the Ruger's got all the machinery, and they're the people who make it go forward. But yeah, I don't really have the answer because no one has been appointed.
Someone's asked, do you have in stock a Kimber K6S target?
No.
Right, just would like to know before I order from the dealer.
Well,
The Kimber,
have a think about ordering it before you order it, because Kimber aren't exporting. Another thing, COVID. Again, running on half staff, all sorts of production problems.
Well, they're based in New York too.
Yeah, they were
You
the
know,
worst hit of all our companies because where this started in New York is where they were. It shut them down for 6 months. They never shipped us anything last year. I don't think they're going to ship us anything this year. They don't have an export department anymore. It's not looking good. I'm not saying we can't get you one in the future. All I can tell you right now is I have no idea. I actually have those pistols on order with Kimber. They can't tell me if and when I'll get product. So, sorry, but yeah, this is another real part of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's real.
Hi guys, do you import Lapua 6.5 small primer Creedmoor cases, brass, and could extend barrel life and improve accuracy if necked down to 22-250 cases?
What?
It's on yours there as well. So this is from Bruce. So guys, just when you are asking questions, you just got to sort of detail them out a little bit more. Did you bring your glasses, Bushy? This one here, mate. Over the page.
Well, the first answer is go to your dealer and get some 6.5 small, because we import it, we sell lots of it.
Yeah.
So Lapua only make 6.5 Creedmoor with a small rifle primer in it. They don't make one with a large rifle primer in it, so you can't go wrong. It's only that. As opposed to, we sell Starline and they make it in both large rifle and small rifle, but Lapua is just brilliant brass, and yes, that's here. If necked down to 22-50 cases, I don't.
Yeah, could it extend the barrel life and improve accuracy if it was necked down to 22-250?
Why would you want to do that when you can buy Lapua 22-50 brass?
I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, sorry, I don't get the second bit, but 6.5 Creedmoor, no problem at all. Yeah, well, okay, maybe he has a point here. Using the small rifle primer version of the brass and necking it down to 22-50, will that be more accurate than normal 22-50, which has a large rifle primer in it? Look, maybe, but I just use the normal brass. I think you're really starting to split hairs then. The reason they use small rifle primers in 6.5 Creedmoor is, look, I think it might help with accuracy a little bit. I'm not even convinced of that. But what it does is strengthen the head of the brass, because you've only got a very small hole in it now compared to a large one. And for some of these guys who shoot long range and tip a little bit too much powder in, you can get away with it in that case. You can't get away with that in a large rifle primer case. And that's one of the big reasons they do it.
Gentleman had a saying here, this is from Tony, had a couple of operations last year on my shoulder, hope you're feeling better, and now really feel the recoil when using my shotgun. I would prefer not to change my recoil pad on the gun. Do you have any options?
Surgery? Look, you know, I don't know what you're using your shotgun for. If you're shooting clay targets and that, we've got some fantastic cartridges for light recoil, and we've designed them for that.
The amber?
If you want it for field, I'm not sure I have an answer. One of the big things is making sure your gun fits you, so it's the right length of pull, because if it's the wrong length of pull, that will exacerbate your problem. But if you're talking about just clay target cartridges for things, like we have a Ely Hawk amber cartridge that's 24 gram, 7.5s, 1200 feet per second. Sounds a bit pissy, but I can tell you it's got extra hard shot in it, and I've used these, I'm not afraid. And wow, they are brilliant, because low velocity, really hard shot cartridges really hold a very tight pattern, much tighter than most things. And they're amazing. Like, if you're shooting sporting, you can shoot 60-yard targets all day long with a 24 gram load. They're very impressive. But if you want to shoot SGs at pigs and things like that, well, I haven't got an answer for you.
John's just asked here, just quickly, any breaking news on Alliant powder availability in Victoria going forward? So, John, you obviously missed the first part of the live stream. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, Victoria is an area we're working on. As I say, a dealer now isn't even licensed to sell Alliant because it's 1.4C category rather than 1.3C. We're trying to get that sorted. That's actually going to cost us a lot of money, because we've got to re-register every single propellant, every one of them in Victoria, which we're going to do. But we haven't had a freight solution. It is something we're working on. We actually hope to be able to have Alliant Australia-wide. might not be in every gun shop, but it'll be in every state. I just can't make any promises yet because we don't have the answer. And in fact, we're probably going to have to buy a truck and do quite a bit this ourselves just because of the expense of getting a dedicated dangerous goods carrier to do it. Because and look, they're not ripping us off. They're doing a service that costs a lot of money. It's just that we can't afford that much money. So, you know, in the end, it might sound a bit cliche, but we'll probably end up doing Alliant for the love of it and probably not making any money, but keeping the market going because this keeps pistol shooters going, and we sell a lot of other products associated with pistol shooters. And that's all we hope. We just hope not to lose too much money doing it and see how we go. So, but I just, you know, this is a big can of worms. Going to take us a long time to solve it, but we will.
We've got a last minute question come in from an Andrew Magub. I can't pronounce that name.
Yeah.
But I think we've actually got a picture of Andrew.
Yeah.
We've just put him up on the screen there. He's holding the brand spanking new NIOA Hot Products Catalogue. He's sitting on the beach with it.
Right.
Got himself a photo, sent it in.
Right.
Here's the thing. Where have you read the NIOA Hot Products Catalogue? Send us a photo with you reading the NIOA Hot Products Catalogue appropriately, or, you know, tastefully inappropriately.
Are you asking Andrew or our viewers?
Our viewers, if you've got yourselves a copy of this, all right? Take a photo somewhere really cool while you're reading it, and we might be able to find a prize. Look, I'll have a chat to Ken. We'll try and get some better prizes.
I think you want to be careful asking for that. I think we're going to get some.
What do you reckon, Ken?
Yeah. That's the face, yeah. When he opens it up.
You reckon he's on a beach yet?
Yeah.
Anyway, look, Andrew does have a question. He says, I need a new 9mm for IPSC, service pistol and general range target shooting. Thoughts on the Glock Gen 5 versus Kimber 1911?
Well, it's easy to think about Kimber because you can't get one.
Yeah.
And I don't know when we will. That's a standard 1911. A Glock's a slightly different pistol for sure. I think the Glock in Gen 5 now offers a real alternative with conventional rifling. It definitely shoots better. But another thing that's happened is Timney have brought out a trigger for it as well. So there's nothing wrong with a 34 trigger because it is one of the lighter, what is the lightest Glock trigger. But Timney's now brought out an even better trigger for it. And I think, we haven't even got into those triggers yet, but I think with one of those in one of those guns would be pretty impressive actually. So a Glock 34 with a Timney maybe, but there's nothing wrong with a standard 34, it's fine. But if you want to go to that nth level and get a really nice light crisp trigger, well I think you can do that with this new Timney one, so it makes it interesting. But Kimber, great thing, but yeah, I don't even know if we're the agent anymore. We just can't get anything.
I think we've got some other questions. You got a question there, Digital Deb. Vermeeren asks, do you have brass catchers or defectors?
What's his name?
Vermeeren.
Right. Well, I'd fix your name first.
Buy a vowel. Yeah, do you have brass catchers or defectors?
Call will make one, and we do get through from time to time. We might even have one, but they're for AR-15s. Whether that's adaptable to something else, that's all they sell them for. But we get the odd person buying something like that for helicopter shooting. It's not necessarily for an AR-15, but yeah, we've got such a thing. But I do stress that it's made for that. So if you haven't got an AR-15, which is probably unlikely you do, it'd need to be adapted somehow.
We've got for a Remington 7615.
AR-15. Yeah, yeah. I don't know whether it'll work with that or not.
Yep, okay. All right, well, look, we're going to have to start wrapping things up here, Bush. But, mate, we actually, believe it or not, amongst all the trolling and bad messages we get the occasional good message came through. And I thought I'd share this with you, mate, because this is from a guy on your team, from one of our customer sales people, Michael Cubis.
They're all glowing.
Yeah, mate. Look, I would like to thank Michael from NIOA with a recent inquiry I had. He could not have been more helpful. Which is interesting for Mick.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And knowledgeable on what I required and made my interaction with NIOA so easy. Thanks again. And that was from Grant Connolly. So look, it's always good to get some nice positive feedback from you guys. We love to hear it.
We're here to help.
We're here to help. And don't forget, you know, we often get a lot of people asking questions on Facebook, on Instagram and on YouTube. If we can't answer it here in the marketing department, we do simply forward that through to our sales customer service department. And guys, you can ring them and or you can email them, and they'll help you out and be able to point you in the right direction. That's for sure. So before we go, let's give away another prize. This is the green set of the Tasco 10x25s, and the winner for this is Brett Kennedy. Congratulations, Brett. So don't forget Brett Kennedy, and we've got Chris Cahill. You guys are the winners of these Tasco binoculars. They're little beauties. Please make sure you message us with your details so that we can get these out to you. Don't put them in the general comment section on the Facebook page.
You keep saying that.
Yeah, but you know, send us a private message and we'll get back to you. And we do have a winner for the tin Leupold bushy,
Right.
and that goes out to Ron Lean. Congratulations, Ron. We're going to bring Kenny back.
I want to be king.
Jeez. So Ron, make sure you private message us, mate. We're going to send this out to you. And I don't think anyone would want to win Ken.
No, or be Ken.
Or be Ken. I mean, who'd want that in their bedroom or sitting up in their shed? Nobody, all right? No one would want that. But anyway, Bushy, we survived without Ken, though. We did it. You know, so that's good.
Yeah. Shoulder
Go
beers.
on. All right, well, listen, everyone, thank you so much for joining in, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of NIOA TV Livestream for April. Bushy, we don't even know what we're going to do for May yet, do we?
No.
But we'll figure out something.
A whole month away.
And we'll let you know. But until then, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Cheers.